The evolution of K-pop. From albums to algorithms, K-pop has changed, and I'm not just talking about the music. Think about how people discovered K-pop years ago. You bought an album, watched a music video, waited for a comeback, and maybe spent hours learning the choreography. Now, a song can blow up because of 15 seconds on TikTok. An idol can become globally famous before you've even heard their full album. And sometimes, the biggest question after a comeback isn't, is this a good song? It's, will this go viral? So how did K-pop go from albums and physical fandoms to a world where the algorithm can decide what millions of people hear next? 1. The album era. To understand where K-pop is today, we have to go backwards first. Physical albums were never just a way to listen to music in K-pop. They became an entire part of fandom culture. Albums came with photo books, photo cards, posters, different versions, and other collectibles. And because some fan events have been connected to album purchases, buying multiple copies could also become part of the fan experience. So an album wasn't simply, here's the music. It was an experience. And K-pop's physical album market became incredibly powerful. In fact, according to Circle Chart's 2025 year-end data, Stray Kids' Karma was the year's best-selling album in South Korea's album chart, with more than 3.39 million units, while 17's Happy Birthday passed 2.5 million. Soompi. But here's the interesting part. K-pop didn't abandon physical albums when streaming arrived. It adapted them. Albums became collectibles, and that physical fandom culture is still one of the reasons K-pop's album numbers can look completely different from the way ordinary listeners consume music. 2. Then the internet changed everything. But physical albums alone couldn't have taken K-pop to the entire world. The internet could. During the 2000s and 10s, YouTube, social media, and online fan communities became major gateways for international audiences to discover Korean music. And suddenly, geography mattered a lot less. You didn't need a Korean TV channel. You didn't need to live in Seoul. You didn't even need to understand Korean. You could watch a music video from your bedroom, learn the choreography, join a fandom, and communicate with fans from completely different countries. Psy's Gangnam Style showed just how powerful that could become, turning an online phenomenon into a worldwide chart success. And then, groups like BTS and Blackpink pushed that global model even further. K-pop had discovered something incredibly powerful. The internet wasn't just where fans watched K-pop, it was where K-pop found new fans. But then came the next major shift, and this one changed not just how people discovered songs, but potentially how songs were made. 3. From YouTube to the short-form era. Enter short-form video. TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts changed the attention span of music discovery. Instead of someone listening to an entire song and deciding whether they liked it, a listener might hear 10 or 15 seconds of it first. If that part is catchy enough, people use it in videos. Then other people hear it. Then creators make their own versions. And suddenly the song is everywhere. This isn't just a K-pop phenomenon either. EFPI's research shows just how important short-form video has become to music engagement. In its 2023 study, 54% of the time spent watching short-form videos involved music, and among 16 to 24-year-olds, short-form video was one of the major ways people engaged with music every day. And according to TikTok and Luminate's reported data, 84% of songs that entered the Billboard Global 200 in 2024 had first gone viral on TikTok. SQ Magazine. That's a huge shift. The song doesn't always have to find the audience. Sometimes the algorithm finds the audience for the song. So did music itself change? And this is where the debate gets interesting. As short-form platforms became more important, some K-pop songs began putting much more emphasis on an instantly recognizable section. The goal is obvious. Make people stop scrolling. You don't have minutes to convince someone anymore. You might have seconds. That's why we're seeing more discussions about songs with shorter runtimes, faster openings, and hooks that arrive almost immediately. And this has created a criticism you'll hear constantly from K-pop listeners. Songs are being made for TikTok instead of being made as complete songs. But is that actually fair? Not completely. Because K-pop has always been experimental. K-pop has never belonged to just one sound. It has borrowed from hip-hop, R&B, EDM, rock, house, pop, and countless other genres. And even in 2026, not every successful song follows the viral hook formula. Recent industry commentary actually points to two directions developing at the same time. One focused heavily on instant short-form virality, and another built around slower, more immersive listening and live performance. The Korea Times. So maybe the real story isn't that K-pop has become one thing. Maybe K-pop has become more divided than ever. You have songs designed to explode in 15 seconds, and songs designed to make you sit down and listen to the entire thing. 5. Welcome to the algorithm. But here's the biggest difference between the old K-pop era and today. The algorithm now plays a much bigger role in deciding what gets attention. Think about it. A song can be incredible, but if nobody discovers it, it might disappear. Another song can be controversial, addictive, or even intentionally silly, and suddenly millions of people are using the sound. That's because algorithms don't necessarily ask, "Is this the best song?" They ask, "Are people watching this, sharing this, replaying this, creating with it?" And that changes the incentives. A 15-second section that makes people want to replay a video can become more valuable for visibility than a beautiful bridge that takes 3 minutes to reach. And this isn't just theoretical. TikTok reported in 2026 that its Add to Music app feature had passed 6 billion track saves over the previous 12 months, showing how short-form discovery can lead people directly towards streaming platforms. SQ Magazine. So the journey has changed. Album to music video to fandom has become clip to algorithm to viral moment to streaming to fandom, and that is a completely different ecosystem. But K-pop didn't abandon albums. And here's the funny part. Even though streaming dominates the way most people listen to music today, K-pop's physical album culture is still incredibly strong. IFPI's 2026 Global Music Report says paid streaming accounted for 52.4% of global recorded music revenue in 2025, with 837 million paid subscription accounts worldwide. IFPI yet K-pop continues to sell millions of physical albums. Why? Because the album isn't competing with streaming anymore. It serves a completely different purpose. Streaming gives you the music. The physical album gives fans something to collect. Photocards, versions, photobooks, limited editions, and fan event opportunities have turned albums into merchandise as much as music products. That's why K-pop is such an interesting industry.